All right, I'm going to be taking you all on a 5-mile walk with me today. I'm about to get on East 13th Street. That's where we're going to be walking up this block for a while. If you're wondering where we're going to go, we are right now in Sheepshead Bay. And we're going to walk 5 miles to Prospect Park. That is the walk. By the way, good morning. I hope everyone's doing well. It is Tuesday. Let me get you a date because I lost track of time. May 26th? That sounds right. Tuesday, May 26th, the day after Memorial Day. Temperature right now is beautiful. It is 75 degrees out. Temperature is supposed to go up to 80 degrees today. Much, much better than what we had this weekend. I will talk about Memorial Day weekend here in the Northeast was abysmal. It was actually warmer on Thanksgiving than it was this weekend. I mean, we did recover yesterday, thank God, but it was Saturday and Sunday were just, absolutely garbage. Let's do a little walk in here and then we'll eventually talk about it. This right here is Avenue Z. So we started on Shore Parkway. Shore Parkway in Sheepshead Bay. Let's get across Avenue Z safely. Looks like there's a lot of traffic. The light's about to change, so there we go. So we're going to be walking up East 13th for a while. There is a point way down the route, probably a couple, maybe 2 or 3 miles down, where East 13th is going to hit like a dead end. And then we're going to have to get onto East 14th. And from there, we will just stay on that street. We could go back onto East 13th, but we're just going to keep going straight. We're not going to go back. But, we'll get onto East 14th. I want to say it's like around Avenue H, Avenue I area. That's where we got to make the turn. And then we'll go up East 14th, but then East 14th is going to turn into Rugby Road. That's going to be in like the Ditmas Park section with the really nice homes. So stay tuned. You guys are going to see some really old, historic, nice homes when we get in that area. That'll be the last part of the walk. Once we get onto Rugby Road, we're almost done at that point. So we'll be in the we'll be going into the Prospect Park South area, and then we're going to end it at the Circle again. We've ended it at the Circle a couple of times this year. We did Ocean Parkway, and then remember we did a walk. Man, I can't remember the walk we did. We did like a walk where we walked from like, I think it was from my neighborhood all the way to Prospect Park. So Avenue Y. We're gonna be going through the alphabet. Get across the street. I want to show you guys something. You had all these like strange roads and stuff. I believe this is Sheepshead Bay Road over here. Yeah, this is Sheepshead Bay Road right here. We're gonna go right back onto East 13th though, but I wanted to show you some of the homes over here. A little nice small little home right there. You got this home right here. You got this home over here. Nice little blue home right there. I would imagine we're going to see some interesting homes on this walk. Look at those big windows on the side of this house. Look at that. This should be a nice walk. As far as it shouldn't be too noisy. I'm not expecting it to be too noisy or anything like that. Got some tree limbs on the ground from the storm. You guys watched my last walk. I went through the storm. We had a lot of, I'll tell you what, we had a lot of tree damage from that storm throughout the neighborhoods. Not too far from where I started that storm walk, a big tree came down right on Shore Parkway. Actually, not Shore Parkway, Shore Road. Shore Road. In Bay Ridge, it's Shore Road, and then further south, it's Shore Parkway. But on Shore Road, there was a tree came down. And as of yesterday, they still didn't clear it. I was walking over there, taking a look at all the tree damage that was done. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't do any commentary on that walk. I'm back to doing no commentary on the storms, and it was a good thing I didn't, because I had a lot of thinking to do when I was in the walk. I kind of caught myself in a bad situation at one point. You guys didn't even notice it, but it was the beginning of the walk. It was I was too busy filming that. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch. That's the last upload I did. In the beginning, there was I thought it was a water spout coming off of St. George in Staten Island, but it was very strong straight line winds, and normally I would have been already moving at that point, but I had to stay and film that, and I didn't get into a good position because of that. My original position was going to be in a different location, but I got caught in a really strong crosswind on Shore Road. And really trying to make my way to 75th Street, Bay Ridge Parkway, to get the storm on my back, and it was just it wasn't that far. Like, I think in the video it takes like a couple of minutes, but it felt like an eternity. I mean, it was just, I felt like I was never going to get there. And then once I got to Bay Ridge Parkway, the winds died down, and I was like, oh, is this it? That was it? Just a couple of minutes, and then I was wrong. Then the storm really ramped up a block later, and I had heavy winds and rain hitting me in the backside for like a good 20 minutes. And remember, that was a heat wave, right? So we had 3 days. We had actually, if you go back and think about it, we had at least a week of hot temperatures. It was in the high 80s, right? It was like 88, 89, and then we got into the 90s for like 3 straight days. And then that storm was really the heat wave buster, and boy, did it really bust a heat wave, because it went from 95 degrees down to 75 in like an hour. And then the next day, it was Friday. I think it was a Friday. It was really chilly out. It was only in the 60s. And then Saturday and Sunday, so Memorial Day weekend weather was total washout almost. But the temperature on Saturday and Sunday for Memorial Day weekend, you ready for this? It was 55 on Saturday, and on Sunday it was only 52. That's like November weather, and it was raining, and it wasn't like you could go out in it either. It was raining all weekend. I mean, if you had any plans for Memorial Day weekend up here in the Northeast, you didn't have any. I mean, it was really bad. By the way, I'm like going back and forth here. Let's just stay on one side of the street. Vince is talking in the third person. Vince is like walking all over the place. Got these small homes. So Saturday 55 in rain, 52 in rain on Sunday, and then yesterday on Memorial Day it started out rainy. It was raining yesterday morning, and it was cool. And then the rain stopped at around 12, and then the sun came out. Totally unexpected. Everyone was surprised. And by 1 o'clock, the temperature got up to 75 degrees. It turned out to be a nice day yesterday for most of the day. So, and you know, like I said, today, right now, it's like 75, and it's supposed to go up to 80. So we had a heat wave and a freeze wave. Now, it wasn't quite freezing, but it was cold. It's definitely a cold day. A couple of days. We gotta get across Avenue V. Looks like they have a playground over here that is being renovated. Speaking of park getting renovated, they are finally renovating my park, Bay Street Park, finally, after that park has been in the same state since 1988. Okay, guys? So if you go into Bay Street Park, it looks the same as when it was 1988. It's like a it's like walking into an old diner. You know, it's like nothing's changed. But they're finally upgrading Bay Street Park. They're rebuilding the handball courts. They're finally gonna redo the basketball court. My God, those basketball courts just in shitty shape since like forever. Hopefully they'll put new lanes in the park, because you know they have cobblestone lanes in that park, and they're just really horrible. They should really get rid of that and just put nice flat asphalt, because it's, listen, I love cobblestones and everything, but when you don't maintain them, it's like constantly walking on potholes. East 13th Street. Looks like there's a lot of traffic on this block. Got a whole line of cars over here. I wonder if this is like a major route or something. All of a sudden, it smells like Chinese takeout. You guys know what I'm talking about? The like the smell of like ribs, pork ends, ribs. It smells like that. This is Avenue U. This is also 1 mile. We just did 1 mile of walking so far. So Avenue U, 1 mile of walking. They also consider this area, this is like a nested neighborhood area called Homecrest. This is the Homecrest neighborhood. Very nice homes on these blocks. You can see that big cut that they cut through the middle of the tree to let the wires go through. Some branches on the floor. We're going to be seeing some nice homes. You remember a lot of these avenues we walk through, like Avenue S, Avenue C, where they have all the nice homes on the corners. So we're going to be walking by them. If you're wondering what neighborhoods we are walking through, I just mentioned we're in Homecrest, but we're walking through 3 major neighborhoods. So Sheepshead Bay, Midwood, and Flatbush. Those are the 3 major neighborhoods. Excuse me, got something in my throat. There we go. Sheepshead Bay, Midwood, and Flatbush. And then within those neighborhoods, there are like these smaller neighborhoods called, like, you got Homecrest. Eventually we'll be in Ditmas Park, and then you got Prospect Park South. So you can be right if you say, you know, you're in Flatbush and you're in Ditmas Park. Those are both correct. There's some nice homes on this block. Look at this block. Got a nice light breeze hitting me, so I don't know if you guys hear it in the microphone. I have never walked down East 13th ever in my life, so you guys are experiencing it for the first time with me. I have walked by so many East streets over the years, you know, and never walked down them. So I guess we will start checking out these side street East streets. This right here is Avenue S. All right. Say, this block has a lot of different styles of residential property. You see across the street there's a lot of multi-unit brick homes. That home right there is like set back pretty far. Look how far back that. Look at that. They had a driveway on the whole sidewalk. Set back pretty far. This is the best time to walk through Brooklyn. I mean, obviously the weather, but you know, all the trees are filled out, everything nice color. Oh, look at this home. Just hiding behind this big tree. Looks really old. Needs a renovation. Oh, look, guys, it's Avenue R. This is an avenue you don't see much of because it's a very short avenue. It starts down over by Kings Highway, which is not that far from us. We're going to be crossing through Kings Highway very soon. It might be the next block. I think the next block might be at Kings Highway. But at some point we're going to be going, you know, we'll be crossing, I would imagine, Quentin Road and Kings Highway. This block is just nothing but apartment buildings. Yeah, there's two homes just squished in between the apartment buildings. Look at that. Feels a little tight in there, huh? Those were people right there that did not give up their property. A lot of these blocks, like you see a lot of these apartment buildings, at one time, you know, there were those small homes up these streets, and over the years they sold all, you know, all the home property and the lots, and eventually you had all these big buildings that got built up in its place. I was right. This is Kings Highway. This guy's getting a really good advertisement plug. Built-in Depot. That's the name of the company. This shirt has been in my camera for the last block. So if you guys need any home improvements, you should call Built-in Depot, I guess. Alright, here we go, Kings Highway. There's Quentin Road, by the way. That's, you know, Quentin Road cuts through over here. Wonder if we should switch over to Sunside for a little while. So you got a Jewish school across the street. I'm just guessing that. That or a synagogue or whatever. Some nice homes right here. Look at these homes, guys. Look at that. We're going to start seeing some nice homes as we get, you know, further down. That house is all boarded up. So we had passed Avenue R, then we hit both Kings Highway and Quentin. I'm guessing this should be Avenue P over here. We did an Avenue P walk a while back. A couple of times I've done Avenue P. Anyway, one time we did it in the rain. It was like a rainy day. Went down Avenue P on a rainy day. Well, once you get past Avenue P, right? Once you start walking past Avenue P, it's safe to say we are now moving into the Midwood section of Brooklyn. We are in the Midwood neighborhood. We'll be in this neighborhood for a while till we get to Flatbush. There's some nice homes across the street. Let's take a look at them. Stay in the street. Now, when we get into Ditmas Park, the homes are they're gonna be way nicer, like the nicest you've ever seen. So, like, if you've never been to Ditmas Park, I mean, it's one of the most beautiful, I think, beautiful residential neighborhoods in Brooklyn. Just for the history alone. So this right here is Avenue O, and this is our 2 mile mark right here. We have now walked 2 miles. Well, Avenue O is a one-way street over here, but it is a two-way, but certain sections it's like a one-way. It's kind of strange. 2 miles of a 5-mile walk. We're taking a 5-mile walk. When we get to the park circle, the end of the walk, it's gonna be exactly 5 miles. That's when we hit the 5-mile mark, right at the very end. You know, after the weekend that we just had in this area, I mean, it's so forgettable. You know, it's like it never happened. It really is like it never happened. I mean, that's why it's not so bad when you have bad weather for a couple of days. You know, you have really nasty weather, and then the sun comes out and it gets all warm, and it's like it never happened. Now, I feel sorry for the people that, you know, they had a lot of plans. There was probably a lot of people that had plans for Memorial Day weekend over here, and it was total rain out. And I'll tell you who really got hurt, and it was the businesses, especially at Coney Island. People don't realize, you know, they make a lot of money throughout the summer, but Memorial Day weekend and 4th of July, that's like their you know, Black Friday, if that makes sense. You know, like that's when they make a lot of their money. I gotta watch out for this. As I was saying, you know, Memorial Day weekend is a really big weekend for Coney Island. I mean, it's absolutely a huge weekend. It's the official opening of the beaches, which the beaches are now officially open. There are lifeguards there, so you can go in the water and, you know, swim and stuff. So the beaches have officially opened, and they count on all that traffic of people coming to go, you know, sit inside and have a drink and eat and stuff, and it's raining, no one's there. So, and they plan for that way in advance. Like, they order a lot of stuff. You know, they have to order food and drinks and everything, and then what happens, it rains, it's like only 50 degrees, and nobody shows up. So now they have a lot of stuff that they got to sell. What makes it even more brutal or mean, or whatever you want to, how you ever want to put it, is that, you know, the whole weekend was not that great, and then back to work on Tuesday, and the weather is amazing. I mean, everyone's going back to work today thinking like, what the hell? The nice thing was, for me, I didn't go anywhere, you know, and, you know, when the weather is like that, at that point, I'm kind of like, you know what? It's a great excuse to just stay inside and not feel guilty that you need to be somewhere. We've all had those moments where, like, we want to stay in and it's really nice out, and you're like, man, I should be outside. Well, I tell you what, I was very happy to be inside for like 2 days, not doing anything. Somebody invites you somewhere and you can say, nah, I'm not interested. This weather sucks. Where are we right now? What is this? This is interesting. This is Elm Avenue. Elm Avenue. We actually have walked past this once, and I remember saying something about it. I can't remember, but it just comes out of nowhere. Elm Avenue in Brooklyn. See the train over there. There's a train station that looks like over there. This right here is Avenue M or N. I don't know. I lost track. Elm Avenue threw me off. We're at Avenue M. Yeah, big storage place over here. That truck just went, I don't know if that's a street over there or what. I don't know. Is that like just a private driveway that goes through to the next street? Let's find out. Let's keep the camera pointed that way. Let's see what we see. Well, he went down into that driveway, into the big building driveway, and then there's a driveway back there. So. Street construction, they're doing the corners over here. There's a big project here in New York for like the last 10 years. They've been just replacing all of the corners in New York with new ramps. That is a big tree, man. Look at how big that tree is. That tree is big. I can't even get it into the camera frame. Let's see if I can. Let's get into the street here. Look how big this tree is. That is high, guys. That's like easily over 100 feet right there. I mean, I had to point my camera like as far as it could go just to get it all in. And another big tree right in front of us here. We get into Ditmas Park, you're going to see a lot of trees, a lot of big old trees like this one right here. I don't know if this might be a cedar green tree, but it's definitely old just by looking at that trunk. At least 150 years old, probably around 200 years old. There's a formula that you can, with a tape measure, you can measure the girth of the tree trunk and then do a calculation, and you could estimate how old the tree is, because obviously you can't see the rings, right? The only way you could definitively age a tree is when you chop it and then you look at the rings. So count each ring as a year. I'm stuck. When I was younger, I used to be a volunteer for New York City parks, and we used to go around and do the tree survey through the neighborhoods, and we used to go measure the trees. There's a website, if you go, you can find it. if you search, maybe if you search, I don't know, NYC tree catalog or NYC tree database or something, but you'll see they have a map, a literal map, and you'll see a lot of these trees have been entered into the database, and depending on when they were last measured, you'll see how old the trees were at that time. And they'll even tell you the type of tree. So that's something you guys could do. There's a homework assignment for you guys. Find that site. I have it saved. I have the link saved. But it's pretty cool because you might be living on a block that has a really old tree and you've never known what kind of tree it is and how old it is, and it should be in the database. This is a nice block. Look at this. Look at the trees on this block. Well, all these little small homes. We are getting close to the neighborhood where all the really nice homes are. Once we get past Avenue I, we're gonna have to turn and get onto East 14th Street, and then East 14th Street will turn into Rugby Road. And when we get onto Rugby Road, that's when you're gonna see some really nice homes. Look at this block. Look at the way these homes are just right next to each other, but they all have these nice pointed designs on the top. That was not even a motorcycle that went by, guys. That was a moped. Oh, look at that. Avenue K, Special K. Special K. Well, that means we're getting close to Avenue J. Zafara Pizza. I always forget what street it's on. I mean, I know where it is, but I never really note down the exact corner street it's on. Maybe it's on this block. I don't know. Zafara Pizza. You could look my channel up. We did a walk on Avenue J. Look at these homes right here. Look at that. Is that nice? Look at those homes. Same thing across the street, by the way. Right across the street on my left side, it's the same type of homes. The homes are starting to get nicer. I'm going to have to get across the street because they're doing construction over here. It looks like he's handing up building supplies up to this guy. I'll just get across the street. Look at these homes. I was just thinking, DeFara is definitely not over here, because DeFara is, the way I always remember it, it's to our right. It's over by the train station. That's how I always remember it. It's a few blocks down. But it would be on this, like it's like on this side of the block. It's like, on this kind of, on this corner, in the sense, right? So if we were walking up the block at DeFara's would be right off the corner, like this business right here. It's over there. I'm going to turn the camera in a second. It's down there. We're not that far from it, because the train station, I'll show you the train station, is right over here. We're on Avenue J, by the way. You see the train station down there? We got to come down here again, because, so let me tell the story. You can see how busy it is down here. The one time I walked down here last year, it was, maybe we'll even do it tomorrow. I don't know, tomorrow or in a couple of days. I came down here on a Jewish holiday, and this is a mostly Jewish neighborhood, and it was all closed down. It was quiet. It was empty. You can see how much stuff is going on now over there. So we got to get back over there. We got to get back on that avenue. Let's look at these homes across the street. Homes are starting to get nicer and nicer. And we're going to be turning soon. We got these nice little attached brick homes with the nice big pine tree. I hear kids screaming. That means it's probably a school. I think we're going to walk right by a school right now. Oh, you know what it smells like? Oh, it smells like school lunch. That's a smell I haven't smelled in a while. School lunches. So this is the block I was telling you about. That's a dead-end street right there. That's why we have to turn. Now, we could get back onto East 13th when we get on the other side, but we're not going to do that. In case you're wondering what that is, this is a railway. That's the railroad bed over there, I would imagine. The Brooklyn Railroad bed. And then right in front of us, there's a train. So you got the trains over here. You could hear the train. So this is where the trains, so the B and the Q train, they basically run down below street level, open space, similar to if you've ever seen the N line in Brooklyn. And there's a dead end right there as well. But you can walk through at the train station on the, I think it's on the next block. Not that block, but up here. We're gonna go up here right now. Okay, so we just hit mile 3, right? Mile 3, Avenue. We just passed Avenue I. We're on East. We're no longer on East 13th. We're now on East 14th. And we are moving into the Flatbush section of Brooklyn right now. So we're leaving Midwood, moving into Flatbush. But you could also say we are moving into the Ditmas Park neighborhood as well. And you're going to start to see, probably by the time you guys on the next block, the homes are going to get really nice. And right here this is where the train tracks are. You can't see them because they have it all blocked up. This is a big wall here. Big wall. So walking over the Brooklyn Railroad tracks. Brooklyn Queens Railroad. And the train station should be around the corner here that I was telling you about. I think it's the Avenue H train station. Now this is a strange block. This is a two-way sideway street, guys. You see that? You see that? See it's two cars, one going one way, one the other. You can see like the small little yellow line here. Okay, so this is like a two-way street here, and the reason they do that is because I'm saying Bay 13th over here. I'm thinking I'm in Bath Beach, but East 13th loses that travel through because of the train tracks, so they let them go up 14th Street. And then when you get over here, this right over here is Rugby Road. And then right over there is the train station where you could walk through. It looks like you can't, but you could walk through the other side. There's like a little tunnel over there. Like a little foot tunnel that you could go through and keep going through Avenue H. And now we're in the nice neighborhood now. Now you guys are going to see is the real estate here is a whole nother level, guys. As you can see how quick it changes. This is Ditmas Park.
Think about it.
Man, look at these homes. Look at that tree. Now, this is one of those walks where I gotta just take you guys through here one day, and we just you could just stay on one street and walk up one side of the street and then walk back down the other, because like every home on these blocks is amazing. Like you gotta pick a side and stay on that side. See, I keep swinging the camera back and forth, but look at this home. Look at this. And it's only gonna get nicer, by the way. A couple of years ago, I took everybody on a walk on the next block over, I believe it was Argyle. Argyle Road on the next block over, and I showed everybody the big Halloween house, which is down here. There's a big house that does a whole bunch of Halloween decorations. There goes a train. And these homes, a lot of these homes date back hundreds of years. In case you're wondering how old these homes are, they're old. A lot of these homes down here have been here since settlement times. You know? Since the 1600s. So these are not homes that were just built in the 1920s. These are homes that go back hundreds of years. Glenwood Road right here. It's got a nice little park, like boulevard in the middle, like Park Avenue. It's called the Flatbush Mall. Nice picket fence. Get you guys some looks across the street. Look at these homes. I mean, these homes are like ridiculously beautiful. Look at these. Like a lot of these blocks. Like if I just take a picture of these homes, I could easily lie to you and say, yeah, we're in Long Island somewhere. You wouldn't know the difference. Well, technically, we are already in Long Island. We're on Long Island. This is the western tip of Long Island. Brooklyn is the westernmost part of Long Island. But you know what I mean. A lot of people, have that imaginary borderline between Queens and the next county over, and they're like, that's really Long Island. But geographically speaking, we are on Long Island. But I could very easily lie and say, yeah, we're over here, we're over there, and you wouldn't know the difference. Look at this home. This right here is Foster Avenue. This is an avenue that has a lot of commercial buildings on it, property on it. I had to stop because my camera is got that auto track thing going again. We got a little break here. We got a bunch of apartment buildings we got to get through, and then it'll get nice again. This right here is Newkirk Avenue. we are coming up on 4 miles of walking. I will call it out when it happens. But we're getting close to the end here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna walk. We're gonna end it over by the Prospect Park Circle. I think we're gonna turn on Caton Avenue. I say Caton. I don't know if it's Caton or Caton. It's spelled C-A-T-O-N. But either way, that's where we're gonna turn left, and that'll be the last leg of the walk. Let's get across the street. Let's look at some of these homes on this side. This right here is Ditmas Avenue. This is right through the heart of Ditmas Park, Ditmas Avenue, which turns into 18th Avenue to my left here. If you walk down this way, you will hit 18th Avenue eventually. They are the same road, 18th Avenue and Ditmas. All right, here we go. We're back into the big open, wide open lawns and the big homes again. Stay on this side. Must be nice when you have that much room and you could just back out and back in a different angle. Look at this. Look at these lawns. Yeah, I recently took you guys through Mill Basin, and if you remember when we were walking through Mill Basin, there was that one section that had all those nice lawns. This is kind of like, these lawns are much bigger though, the ones that we passed in Mill Basin though. I'll just keep the camera pointed like this for a little bit. I'll show you guys the bottom and then the tops. All right, here we go. I don't know what the next street is. Maybe it's Cortelyou. Nope, it is Dorchester. Dorchester Roads. Sounds like a steak sauce. Oh, look at this home. Look at this home, guys. Oh, that is so nice. Look at that. Look at the color scheme on this home. Looks like a dollhouse. Ditmas Park. I'm not showing you guys every home. I mean, you guys are missing a lot of homes because I got to pick and choose based on my route. But there's a lot of nice homes that you guys are not even seeing on camera. Looks like we got some apartment buildings on this side. Let's get over to this side since we don't want to look at the apartment buildings. We want to look at these homes. There is a Cessna flying really low over me right now. I just realized, I just looked at the time. We have been walking over an hour of walking. 1 hour and 13 minutes. And speaking of how long we've been walking, we've also been walking far, and we're now at mile 4. This is the last mile we're going to walk. We're going to walk this to the park. This is Cortelyou Road, mile 4. And this is also, and again, like I said earlier, we are generally in the Flatbush area, but there's all these little nested areas, and we are now entering the Prospect Park South neighborhood. That's what they consider this area, Prospect Park South. This is going to run me right, I'm going to walk right up until we get to, we're not exactly going to hit the park. We're going to hit the soccer field. I think there's soccer fields down here. And then if you cross the soccer field, you get over to the park, Prospect Park. There is a school on my left. I believe that is PS 139. And then right here on my other side is these homes again. Look at the color schemes of some of these homes. The color schemes are crazy. There is a home coming up that has like some orange on it. We'll see what that's all about. This one right here, look at this house with all the orange on it. That's a really nice color scheme. Look at the color scheme on this house. Orange with cyan. That is absolutely amazing. I just can't get over the color schemes of these homes. See, that's the thing about these homes. They're nice, but the color scheme really makes it. And look at that. That is wild.
No.
And just so you know, I'm gonna say it over and over. I'm gonna beat a dead horse. This block is not the only block with these type of homes.
So now we have to get primers.
I mean, there's so many different roads that go through Ditmas Park. You got Rugby Road. You know, I told you on the next block over, you got Argyle Road. There's a road called Marlborough Road. There's like a whole bunch of different streets with these types of homes. You could spend an entire week through this neighborhood. And some of these blocks have posts on the corners. I think we're going to hit one on the next block. I think we're eventually going to hit Church Avenue. Church Avenue, you know, I know from walking on Church Avenue a lot of times, you know, you walk by some of these streets and they've got like the street posts. Can't see that home. I'm trying to look. It's trying to get through the tree there. We'll see it in a second. Hold on. Hold on. There it is. Beverly Road. I've actually gotten some requests for this road, so I do have to do this road. This is a nice road. Look at this, while we wait for the traffic, look at the entrance to this home right here. See? Beverly Road is a very nice road. Beverly is a very nice name. A lot of traffic on this road too. Someday we'll get across. Here's some posts. It says Beverly Road or Rugby Road. It's got like the engravings on the stone and stuff. We continue seeing these beautiful homes. I mean, just one after another. I got somebody walking their dog coming up. I don't know which side I'm taking, but I gotta get across the street, guys. I gotta show you some of these homes over here. Look at that. Look at these homes. I'll tell you, if you guys are still with me since the beginning of the walk, you know, I mean, you guys are getting a nice little treat here, because the first part of this walk did not start out like this. It started out very urban, I guess you could say. Man, I just don't know where to point my camera. I really don't. I'm giving you guys whiplash with all the back and forth with this camera panning. I promise, we're eventually, this walk is eventually going to end, and it feels a lot longer than 5 miles for some reason. I don't know, but that's because I am walking slow as we get in all these views. This is Albemarle, so the next one should be Church. This is a very nice road I got to take you guys on. Albemarle, right? I think I'm saying it right, but the next one should be Church. Look at the scenery of this block with the white high cloud layer up there. It's like a white and blue line with the green. Look at this house. Jeez. I'm gonna have to slow down for this one because this got a lot of nice architecture. Look at this home. Look at that. Hold on, let me put that back up because the camera recentered by itself. My lovely camera that does what it wants. This is Church. There's a whole bunch of people walking towards me here. I don't know if it's like a family or a class. So I'm going to cross over because it's a lot of people coming down the block. Yeah, it looks like a class, like a school class. Maybe they're touring the neighborhood. I'd tell you, this is the longest 5-mile walk I've ever taken, and it's because of the speed. We would have been done by now if I was just doing a straight, fast-paced 5-mile walk. We would have been done. But we're about to turn here. This is it. So we're about to get onto this, I think it's Caton, I'm not sure. It's where the soccer fields are. Walking by a schoolyard. This is PS 249. That is all the commotion you are hearing right now from the kids. PS 249. All right, here we go. This is where we're gonna turn. And we are almost done. We're gonna walk down to the circle now. If you walk across the soccer field there, right across the soccer field on the other side is Prospect Park. And I believe that is Parkside Avenue on that side. I believe. All right. Well, at this point, I want to thank everybody for coming along that nice walk. We've seen a lot of nice homes in that one. Just feels like such a long walk, though, for 5 miles. Because we're about to hit an hour and a half. But we walked from Sheepshead Bay to Prospect Park, basically. So these are the parade grounds. We're going to stay on the streets here. I'm guessing probably about another 5 minutes of walking. Not even. I could see the traffic up there. That's where we got to go. So. You can see soccer fields. They're all playing soccer over here. Kicking balls at me and stuff. There's also tennis courts. I think they're on the other side. And then on my left side is apartment buildings and a lot of traffic. And this road, by the way, is a very busy road. This is the road that will lead you into McDonald Avenue and Fort Hamilton Parkway. And also Ocean Parkway and Coney Island Avenue. Everything kind of ends over here, so. I think the next neighborhood I'm going to take you guys in, we're going to go back into Marine Park and walk around and look at those homes in that area. I already took you guys through the park itself, but maybe we'll go through there and look at Marine Park. We totally ended this walk on a pretty loud note. I had to wake you guys up. It smells like grass over here, like really chopped grass, and that's the reason right there. This guy's cutting the grass. Oh, it smells like just amazing grass. Oh my god, it is so strong. It smells amazing. You go almost, it's so strong you can almost taste it. It was like, wow. Alright, so this right here is Coney Island Avenue. I'm going to turn here. And we're going to end it up at the circle, which is at the next intersection. So I was right. Another 5 minutes of walking from the point that we got over onto this. So. Maybe, you know, and also maybe we'll do a complete Coney Island Avenue walk. We did a complete Ocean Parkway, which is that way. And we ended it right over here because they all meet. All these big roads, Fort Hamilton Parkway, Coney Island Avenue, and Ocean Parkway, they all run into this circle here. All right. Well, we are in the last week of May. We still got some days left until we get to June 1st. But I want to, before I stop this walk, I want to say thanks to everyone that has been watching and subscribing. We are about to hit 6,000 subscribers. We'll probably hit it by June. I think at the time I'm making this video, we got about 70 subscribers left, or 60 subscribers left to hit 6,000. But remember, when we started the new year, we were under 5,000. So, I mean, we're over 1,000 subscribers at this point. So, for the year. So I want to thank everybody. Well, this is where I'm going to end it. This is it right here at the circle. We just hit 5 miles. This is it, 5 miles, and we walked from Sheepshead Bay all the way to Prospect Park. Prospect Park is over there. Okay, guys. I'll catch you all on the next one. So thanks for taking along, and bye-bye.